Hi everyone, I'm Nancy Novak doing a quick little Facebook Live. Actually, this is dedicated to the people that are on my email list for my local classes, and I sent them an email this morning or this afternoon, and I'm also going to send them this little video to show them a little bit more of what one of my classes is like. So when you opened up this email, everyone, you saw the picture of the card that we made in my weekly card class. And some of you may have gone to a couple of my classes and some of you haven't. So this is dedicated to the first-time stampers or the people that have never stamped before. So I want to give you an idea of what it's like to go to one of my card classes and see what you think. So let's get started. So this is the card that we made in my class this morning, or if you're opening this on another day, it's March 16th, 2019. And I designed this with St. Patrick's Day in mind. I wanted to do a green card. It's not necessarily themed for St. Patrick's Day, but it is green. So I wanted to show you how quick and easy it is to make this card, and let's get started. So when you come to one of my classes, I will have everything all ready for you, all the card pieces, all the stamps and the inks, and you go home with the card and the envelope. And so let me show you what that means. So when you come to class, I have the front of the card pieces and I have the inside of the card pieces. And I have the inside over in the envelope, and we usually set these aside until later, until we're ready for them. And I always repeat this every week, and everything is step by step. So we go through it, just little by little. So this is the card base, and I already have it scored down the middle, and all you need to do is fold it in half, and that's ready to attach all your pretty card design. And then I have the pieces for the front of the card, and this piece here is the matte piece, and it's going to go on the card like that. And this piece here is the stamping piece or the design piece, and it's going to go on like this once we're done with it. And then I have a few extra pieces here to help create our card. So the first thing we're going to do is take this piece here, and we are going to emboss it. And this is an embossing folder, and what it does is it adds texture to your card piece. So we're going to do something extra to this. We're going to add ink to this, so it's going to add texture and color. So this color here is called Mint Macaron. So I am going to bring in my ink, which is also called Mint Macaron, and I'm going to bring in a little scrap. So when you are at my card class, I have like a little stamping place for you and a little scrap piece of paper. So this is exactly the same. And I'm going to bring in the embossing folder. And this part here, which says Stampin' Up, that's the top, that's the main piece, and that's the part that we're going to ink. So I'm just going to kind of flip it over so I can get my ink pad on it. So I'm going to take my whole ink pad, and I'm just going to ink this embossing folder all up. Well, that's easy. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I'm going to close my ink pad so I don't drop it on anything and get ink all over. And now I'm going to bring in my Big Shot. We're going to hang on to this, but I want to bring in my Big Shot. And the Big Shot is the thing that does all the magic. It kind of presses the embossing folder and creates that image. So I have my Big Shot at my class every week, and you use it for the card. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this card, plain cardstock, and I'm going to lay it down in my embossing folder or on my embossing folder, and I'm going to close it, and then I'm going to sandwich it in. So these are all the things that you learn. You learn how to use the embossing folder, and you learn how to use the Big Shot and embossing folders. I try to bring something new to each class, so little by little you're gaining more experience on how to make a card. So now I'm just going to roll this through, and then I'm just going to roll it back. Okay, now I'm going to get my Big Shot out of the way. Okay, so now here is what we inked up. And now all that ink went on to that cardstock to create the tone-on-tone color that I was looking for. So see, there we go. So let's finish it. It's very simple. So that was a cool thing to do, huh? Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in this piece here, which I called earlier my matte piece, and I like to use this for other elements of our card. So I'll show you what that means. So I am using, this is a stamp set, and it's called Butterfly Gala, and it's got all your little stamps inside, and they are clear. And so this is what the stamp looks like. And then you put it on a clear block, and then when you're done, you just put it back into your stamp case. So this we're going to stamp in Memento ink, which is black ink. So I'm going to stamp 2 of them. So I'm just inking it up in my stamp pad, and I'm going to place it right here and hold it down for a minute. And there's my first image, and I'm going to do that one more time. Okay, get that out of the way. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my butterfly punch, and what this is going to do is going to punch out these butterflies. It's going to punch them both out at once. So you just put it in here, and there's my butterflies. So let me punch out the other ones. So you just slide your cardstock in the punch and move it so it's centered. You can see right where it's supposed to be. Squeeze it, and now we have our butterflies. Okay, so we're going to use those in a minute. Next thing I'm going to do is bring in this little piece, and I'm going to bring in a darker color green. This one's called Shaded Spruce. And I'm going to bring in my sentiment. So the sentiment I'm using is "Thank you very much." It's from the stamp set. Also wanted to mention, so we punched and stamped this butterfly right here, these two. So this stamp set comes with different designs of butterflies and different sentiments. So it's kind of a very nice stamp set. So I'm going to ink this up in the Shaded Spruce, and I'm going to stamp it over here on the right side of this little piece of designer series paper. Just hold it there for a second, and there you go. So there's my sentiment. So now all that is left to do is to put the card together, and that is easy. So I'm going to bring in my card base, and I'm going to bring in this piece here. We're going to cover that up. You won't even notice what we did there. And I'm going to use Tombow glue as my adhesive. There's also tape adhesive. We call that snail. That's one other option. And when you come to the card class, the only thing you need to bring is some type of adhesive, either the Tombow glue or the snail, or both of them. Some people like to use both. And it's nice to bring a little pair of scissors, which I'll show you. These are the scissors that most people like to use. They're Stampin' Up! Paper snips. They're really nice to craft with. Let me put this down before I drop it somewhere. So all I'm doing is centering this in the middle of my card base. Now I'm going to bring in the piece that we embossed. And I'm going to put glue on the back of that. add a little bit more because it's got crevices from the embossing. Make sure it sticks. And I'm going to center that in the middle of this. So again, everything is all set for you when you come to a class. It's all pre-cut, and all you get to do is the fun stuff and put it all together. So again, let me bring in, this is the card that we're making. So here is the sentiment. And I also have 2 little strips here, and I'm going to outline or border this little strip. So I'll show you how the snail works. So this is the back, and the snail is just tape, sticky tape. So you just roll it along like that. And now this is cut to size, and I just want a little bit of that darker green as a border. So I'm just going to put it together like that and do the same thing on the other side. So now when I put it on my card, it sort of sets it off and you can see it a little bit better. Okay? So now this I want to go right here, and I could glue that down, but what we use are dimensionals, and this is called popping it up. And it's a little double-sided sticky foam piece, and it's going to add a little bit more of a dimension to the card. So I'm just placing a few of them, one in each corner and one in the middle. So again, it's double-sided, so I take off the little backing and it's going to be sticky. Like that. Okay. Then I just look where I want it to go. Whoops. So I want it to go about right there. And you just, whoop, it looks a little crooked. I can't see, I'm on an angle. Like that. Okay. Now I'm going to take one of my little butterflies, and I want him to go there, and I want a big one up here and a little one here, and I'm going to pop them up. So I'm going to bring in a dimension for the big one, and I'm going to go like that. And actually I think I'm going to cut this in half with my little paper snips, because where I'm going to place them is kind of a small spot, so I don't need that big of a dimension. So I do that. Okay, then I'm going to peel the back off. And decide where I want to place the butterfly. I think I'll put it right there. And then the little butterflies only need a little bit of a dimension also. We do have mini dimensions, but this one will work just fine. So I'm just going to place a half of a dimension right in the middle of that one, and right in the middle of this one, like that. Okay, can you see that? So I'm just going to peel off the back again. And put my butterflies where I want them to be. And the front of that card is done. Okay, we did do one other thing, which is kind of optional, if I can find it here. This is called Wink of Stella, and it's a tube of wetness that is glitter. So when all you do is paint it on like a paintbrush, and it's very, very subtle, but what it's doing is it's adding a little bit of glitter to our butterfly. So all those little things just make a little bit of a difference. So I know you probably can't see it on the camera, but it does have a little bit of glitter to it, a little bit of shine. Okay, so that would be the front of our card, all done. And then for the inside, for this card we decided to leave it blank inside because it's a thank you card, and a lot of people like to write their own thank you note. But to finish it off, and again, let me show you with the snail. You could either glue this or snail it. So here's the snail, and you just run this double sticky on the back of the card, and then you bring in the matte piece and you center it. Now this is going to go on the inside of our card. So again, I could snail the back of this, but I'm going to glue it. I like to use glue. Sometimes when you use the glue, or anytime you use glue, it gives you a little bit more of, a few more seconds of time to place your card where you want it to go. So sometimes if you don't exactly get it in the middle the first time, with the glue you can move it just a little bit. You know, if you need to smudge it a little bit, slide it over. So anyways, you just place it right in the center. Okay, that's the inside. And if you want, you could take this little extra butterfly, which I think I'm going to do, and decide where you want to put it. And I think I'll put it, where do I want to put it? I'm going to put it down there. Okay, so I'm just going to glue him in. I'm not going to pop him up because he's going to be on the inside of our card, so I want him flat. And I'm going to put it right here. That way I can write my little note and then sign my name. So there you go. So what do you think? Pretty easy, right? Well, anyways, I hope that this gave you a little bit more insight of what one of the card classes is like. You all have my email address, so you can email me back with questions. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching, and until next time, don't be shy, stamp and shout. Thanks.